With the imminent release of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars game, more people than ever are going to be jumping into Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy for the first time. Regardless of whether or not you've never played these games before, or you're a seasoned Mario platforming veteran, PJ and I have accumulated 100 facts about these games that you might not know. The way this is going to be structured is 25 facts about Super Mario 64, then it's going to switch over to 25 facts about Mario Sunshine, then 25 facts about Galaxy, and last but not least, we included 25 facts about Super Mario 3D World. Technically, I know it's not in the collection, but I mean, it's Super Mario 3D World. Like, come on, how could I not include that? Before we jump right into the facts, if you're excited for these remasters, let us know down in the comments below. If you like podcasts, check out our podcast channel, Nintendo Tonight, and without any further ado, let's get right on into it. Super Mario 64 was originally supposed to be more platforming focused rather than exploration and puzzle focused. Think levels more similar to those of the Super Mario 3D World game. Memory constraints on the N64, however, meant that they would have to use less levels than initially intended, so the remaining levels became more explorative rather than platforming focused to lengthen out game time. The first official 3D Mario game of any capacity was actually worked on around 1991, 5 years before Super Mario 64 released. It was a prototype game for the SNES's Super FX chip. Mario's iconic title screen face was originally made for Mario Paint 3D. Boo's iconic laugh is literally just Bowser's laugh sped up. The entire game of Super Mario 64 was made by only 15 people. Imagine being one of the only 15 people to work on one of the most influential games of all time. I just think that's crazy. This was the last ever game Miyamoto directed. Ever since, he's taken more of a supervisor role, but for Super Mario 64, he was director. Right before facing Bowser, you can see these images from the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES on these pillars. While everyone knows you can find Yoshi on the roof of Peach's castle, you might not know that there's actually a Yoshi egg texture in the game's files. This suggests Yoshi should have played a bigger role in the game, but ended up getting cut. Mips the Rabbit was originally just a testing dummy. He was never intended to make it into the final game, but after using him to test Mario's movement for so long, the development team didn't want to part ways with him. You gotta admit, that's kinda cute. You can't ever actually combine the metal cap and the wing cap, but if you hack the two items into the same stage, the game will let you combine them. Miyamoto really wanted to include multiplayer, but had to cut it really close to the game's official release. Because of this and other features/levels that were cut, Miyamoto announced a sequel to Super Mario 64 he dubbed Super Mario 128. He even said he had a complete prototype cartridge sitting on his desk. Obviously, this game never got released in any capacity, but as part of the more mature marketing Miyamoto attempted for this game, he put an ad in Playboy magazine. Super Mario 64 entered development before the N64 even existed. Because of this, the team at Nintendo had to use modified Sega controllers to playtest early in development. Speaking of playtesting, Miyamoto brought his own son to playtest the game. That's just so cool. I don't know why, I love that. The Peach's Castle hub world was originally meant to be a hub world for Ocarina of Time. However, because Super Mario 64 was running behind schedule, the team just repurposed ideas from Ocarina of Time to speed up development time. In contrast, apparently horse riding was supposed to be a core mechanic extremely early on in Super Mario 64's development. While they ended up coding in the idea, it never exactly got cut, just repurposed into Epona from Ocarina of Time. Originally, before finding the true voice actors for both Bowser and Mario, they had placeholder Looney Tunes voices. The world Tiny Huge Island is based off this Super Mario Bros. 3 level. And because Super Mario 64 came out at the start of the Nintendo 64's life, there were still some SNES games in development at the time of its release. Because of this, we got a Peach's Castle musical Easter egg in Donkey Kong Country 3. I don't know why, but personally I think I honestly prefer that to the actual Peach's Castle. I just love that remix. The course clear jingle in Super Mario 64 is referenced as the Toad House clear jingle in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The Boo's merry-go-round theme can be heard by the underwater merry-go-round in Mario Kart 8's water park course. If you dive near the baby penguin, it will try and imitate your dive. This is just so cute. These specific butterflies in Tiny Huge Island can be turned into bombs if you punch them. I looked into this, I really do not know why or what this is referencing, but I mean, it's there. By climbing to the top of this specific flagpole, you get a 1-up. This is obviously a reference to Super Mario Bros. On the NES, where if you reach the top of the flagpole, you get a 1-up.
Firstly, Isle Delfino, the graceful main setting of Super Mario Sunshine, actually translates to Dolphin Island in Italian, being Mario's heritage. This can be seen as a reference to the GameCube's beta name, Project Dolphin. And on the topic of dolphins, Isle Delfino is actually shaped like a dolphin. There are also many dolphin statues and paint spreads across the island referencing this as well. And speaking of Mario's Italian heritage, Isle Delfino isn't the only Italian name location. All locations that you may know are actually in Italian with their English translations shown on the screen right now. Now, one thing that you guys will notice about this game is that there is a lot of hidden content left in the game that you can only access with like glitches or camera glitches. And just for a first example, there is a hidden rocket nozzle inside of a bell tower in Delfino Plaza, which you can see by just tilting your camera next to it and just glitching to see in. Human NPCs were supposed to be in Super Mario Sunshine as they were shown in the Space World 2001 trailer, but they were ultimately scrapped from the game and instead Piantas were added. We go on to see human NPCs make an appearance in Super Mario Odyssey's New Donk City. Now here's some facts about a few enemies in Super Mario Sunshine. First up, a Cug, which is an enemy looking like a Goomba that was ultimately cut from the game. If you actually camera glitch under the map in Pinna Park, you can see the character model for the Cug, although you're not able to interact with it. Another enemy that didn't make it into the final version of the game is Tramplin Stew. Now this is some beta footage. It kind of looks like a bigger Cataquack that just spits out a bunch of Strollin' Stews. It's kind of weird. All enemies in Super Mario Sunshine and even the Yoshis are derived from the scribbling of Bowser Jr. Now this would explain why all the enemies are weak to water and they have much different appearances from previous games. The Gooper Blooper boss was originally supposed to have the accent of blue, but was swapped to white to match the other bloopers across the game. The Manta Ray boss in Serena Beach has been rumored to be a reference to The Shining by Stephen King, where at the end of the book there is an excerpt that reads, "A ghostly manta shape floating away over the hotel. It was paper thin, like a shadow, and then broke into smaller forms before turning into smoke and drifting away." In Japanese dialogue cut from the game, Mario could apparently buy train tickets, get them stamped, and access over 15 stations which players could visit after buying the appropriate stamp. Some of these locations include Battleship Island, In Front of Flame Temple, and Lighthouse Island. Serena Beach itself is shaped just like a GameCube controller, and here is a side-by-side view of the GameCube controller and the island to compare. Originally, there was a multiplayer mode planned. The presence of this mode is found in Sunshine's code under the name SMS_is multiplayer map, where one player would control Mario and the other would control Shadow Mario. And this was likely cut due to technical limitations at the time, considering it was on the GameCube, as well as Shadow Mario being the main antagonist of the game. In the third episode of Noki Bay, Red Coins in a Bottle, there was a removed mission called The Book in the Bottle, but ended up being scrapped. This mysterious book was actually left in the game, and a Red Coins mission replaced it. Now, speaking of that book in Noki Bay, there's actually a door in the Red Coins mission where you can actually glitch your camera around to see the book itself. And the book, translated from Japanese, has a message inscribed on it saying, "You have no life," from none other than Shigeru Miyamoto. Now, I'm sure everyone knows that one of the main mechanics in Sunshine is its cleanup mechanic with Flood, using water to clean up the island of Shadow Mario's goop. Now, Nintendo originally planned to take this concept further by not only cleaning up, but also spreading goop as well. And this concept has been speculated to be reimagined in a new series, Splatoon. On the topic of FLUDD, FLUDD helps Super Mario Sunshine be an unforgettable title for Mario fans, but did you know that FLUDD was originally supposed to have a gun-type nozzle? The developers of the game ended up scrapping this idea due to the gun controversy in the United States. Surprisingly, Super Mario Sunshine was not the first Mario series game on the GameCube. It was actually Luigi's Mansion. And Professor Egad, who built Luigi's iconic vacuum, the Poltergust, in that game, also built FLUDD and Shadow Mario's paintbrush. Luigi's Mansion goes on to be mentioned once again when a janitor in Hotel Delfino tells Mario that he wishes someone would come and just suck up all the booze with a vacuum cleaner, obviously referencing the Poltergust. To access the level screen for Noki Bay, you have to look up to the sun under a Shine Sprite logo, which is a very similar mechanic as looking up to the sky to get the wing cap in Super Mario 64, which was Mario's previous 3D title. Super Mario Sunshine was the first Mario title that introduced a fully voiced spoken dialogue aside from Mario, but it wasn't really that good.
Leave my mama alone, you bad man.
Il Piantissimo is a character who claims to be a Pianta and pops up many times through Sunshine, challenging Mario to various races across the island. But who really is he? Upon further inspection, he actually has the same character model as the Running Man / Postman from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Shadow Mario's theme is actually a remix from World 1-2 from the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Oddly enough, Shadow Mario is a playable character in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Maybe they wanted to make Shadow Mario a more focal point of the Mario series, who knows. And lastly, in 2009, there was actually a scientific study committed to looking at links between video games and player behavior. This ended up finding that subjects who played Sunshine were more likely to be helpful rather than players who played violent games by a long shot. Galaxy's soundtrack is incredible and is unforgettable when you come to think of Galaxy, but originally it wasn't even supposed to be a part of the game. When developing Galaxy 1, Nintendo didn't really think an orchestra would fit Galaxy. However, due to a composer's insistence they would try it, they ended up doing that, and the rest is history. Galaxy was actually inspired by a GameCube tech demo called 128 Marios. A programmer was inspired when realizing that the issue of getting lost in a 3D Mario level could be solved by making the level round, which then became the foundation of Galaxy. In Galaxy 1, there is a planetoid that looks very similar to a Pokeball, as well as a spaceship that looks like Olimar's ship from Pikmin 2. So these next three facts are gonna be all in reference to The Legend of Zelda. So in the Rolling Gizmo Galaxy, you can see a cluster of star bits as you look over a platform, which actually resembles the shape of a blue rupee. During development of Galaxy 2, a director who actually worked on Majora's Mask added Rock Mario as a nod to Goron Link, who also rolls and destroys objects in a very similar fashion. In Galaxy 1, there's a boss named Megaleg, but did you know it was actually a scrapped boss phase of Ganon in Ocarina of Time? This idea was to be in the final battle of Ocarina of Time, where Ganon would be super huge on the screen, and then Link would have to fight him, but this was likely cut due to the technical limitations of the Nintendo 64. Within Galaxy 1's game files, there is an unused animation of Mario punching, just like he did in Super Mario 64. This likely didn't make it into the full game due to Nintendo obviously taking advantage of the Wii's motion controls and instead using the spin move. Now here are a few facts about Yoshi in the Galaxy games. Yoshi was originally planned to have been in Galaxy 1, but his entrance was delayed until Galaxy 2 because developers felt introducing a whole new gameplay concept and Yoshi on top of that would be too overwhelming. In the level Good Egg Galaxy and Galaxy 1, there is a door to Yoshi's house, and when approached, a button prompt comes up to read even though there's no sign to be read. However, if you angle the camera correctly, you can see a sign is actually located behind the door. And in Galaxy 2, when you're outside of Yoshi's house in Sky Station Galaxy, there's a sign that reads on the third mission saying, "Hello friend, please go around back from Yoshi the Space Dragon." Now this Space Dragon label confused many fans, and Miyamoto later confirmed that Yoshi is indeed a space dinosaur. The Starbits that you feed hungry Lumas during the Galaxy games are actually inspired by a Japanese candy called Konpeito. And according to Rosalina's storybook, Starbits actually taste like honey. In Super Mario Galaxy 1, if you collect 9,999 Starbits, all coconuts in the game will oddly enough turn into watermelons. However, in Galaxy 2, when you collect 9,999 Starbits and deposit it all in the Toad Bank, you will unlock the Perfect Run mission in Grandmaster Galaxy, being the final star of the game. Director of the series, Yoshiaki Koizumi, has said that he wrote Rosalina's storybook all in one night without telling anyone until the next day. Galaxy 2 has a level called Throwback Galaxy, which is a almost complete remake of the famous Whomp's Fortress from Super Mario 64. And if you talk to the Bob-omb buddy located here, it's mentioned that Mario looks familiar, which is most likely a reference that he remembers Mario from Super Mario 64. Another 3D Mario throwback is in Super Mario Galaxy 2, that being Spinning, Spinning, and Spinning, which is the same area from Sunshine, being the secret of Rico Harbor. At the beginning of Shiverburn Galaxy in Galaxy 2, there are these creepy alien-like figures on top of this moonlit hill, and to make it even weirder, the image's name in the game files is Hell Valley Skytree. Super Mario Galaxy 2's internal disc ID is titled Super Mario Galaxy More, leading fans to believe that Galaxy 2 was actually originally supposed to be an expansion to the original Super Mario Galaxy instead of being its own standalone game. In Luigi and the Haunted Mansion from the first Galaxy game, there's a bit of a continuity error. This level originally assigns you to rescue Luigi from a haunted mansion. However, if you play as Luigi, you can still hear Luigi call for Mario's help. In the E3 2009 trailer of Super Mario Galaxy 2, there was an enemy shown called the Diggas, whose appearance was changed upon full release of the game. I'll show the comparison on the screen right now. The European, Australian, and Japanese versions of Super Mario Galaxy 2 came with an instructional DVD explaining controls and gameplay. It's unknown to why this wasn't packaged as well in the American release of the game. During the development of Galaxy 2, there were supposed to be cameos from Donkey Kong and Olimar. Miyamoto ended up stepping in and didn't allow that, saying that the appearance wouldn't quite fit in the game. Found in the files of Galaxy 1, there were a few unnamed bug-like enemies that never made it into the final cut of the game. In Galaxy 1's Prima Guide, there was a concept art of a planet called Starman Fort. This ended up being rebuilt many times, but this area was ultimately scrapped. And lastly, Miyamoto planned out 4 Super Mario Galaxy to be developed within a year, but it ended up taking 3.
Not only are the characters a direct callback to Super Mario Bros. 2, but their abilities are as well. Speaking of Super Mario Bros. 2, these casino levels that pop up feature a remix of that game's character select theme. Speaking of the music in the casino levels, you can actually get a perfect 4 in a row every single time if you just time your jumps with the music. I'll play that clip with a metronome so you can hear what I'm talking about. Did you know that the Double Cherry power-up was originally a glitch that happened late in development, where a Nintendo employee accidentally left 2 Marios in the level editor, and was surprised to see that it actually didn't crash the game and he had fun messing around? This unnamed employee took this concept to Miyamoto and they ended up implementing it into the game very late in its development cycle. Super Mario 3D World has these mystery houses scattered along the map. The 2 that are focused on fighting enemies are named Mystery House Melee and Mystery House Brawl, a reference to, at the time of this game's release, the only 2 subtitled versions of Super Smash Bros. If you steal a Koopa shell and start running away from it, the Koopa will chase after you but eventually get tired. Speaking of Koopa shells, a lot of people apparently didn't know this, but if you sprint with a Koopa shell and then press crouch, you'll get in it and it acts as kind of a 3D version of that blue shell power-up from New Super Mario Bros. DS. Super Mario 3D World introduced a ton of new masks, one of which being the Goomba mask. When you're wearing the Goomba mask, all your sound effects get replaced with Goomba sound effects. Listen to the different jump sound. Both World 1 and World 4 can be entirely bypassed by secret pipes found in their respective second levels. This on its own is a callback to Super Mario Bros. 1, where the warp pipes in that game were in level 1-2 and 4-2 as well. Speaking of second levels, in World Star-2, you play in a giant Super Mario Galaxy throwback. Obviously, you're in space, tons of Lumas will watch you as you platform, and you can even make out the Comet Observatory in the background. Once you beat this level, you also unlock Rosalina. The title screen shows the characters playing around in this little area, and you can actually get different times of day, being daytime, this kind of sunrise cloudy time, sunset, nighttime, and raining. And once you unlock Rosalina from level Star-2, you can get a galaxy-themed version of the main menu. Hitting Bowser's car in the last level of the base worlds makes a honking sound, but it occasionally will spit out a sound effect from Super Mario World. In level Star-1, one of the green stars is locked behind this 8-bit Link challenge. The star itself is accompanied by the iconic chest jingle, and you can listen to the iconic overworld theme. Speaking of other Nintendo references, Mount Must Dash is a reference to Super Mario Kart on the SNES. You can see the blocks look the exact same, and the music is even a remixed version of that game's title theme. That level is named Mount Must Dash, which is a homophone for Mount Mustache, as, you know, Mario's mustache is pretty iconic. Plessy is named after the real-life dinosaur Plesiosaurus. Plessy is also a nod to Dory from Super Mario 64, who herself has been confirmed to be a reference to the Loch Ness Monster. When Peach gets a fire flower, she ties her hair back in a ponytail, presumably so it can't catch on fire. In multiplayer, a perfectly synchronized ground pound will kill every enemy on screen. Super Mario 3D World has the most power-ups and wearable items out of any mainline Mario game. Luigi is well known for having the highest jump in the game, but did you also know he has the shortest? If you quickly tap the jump button, he'll have this really short hop, which no other characters can replicate just like he can. You can use the gamepad to do tons of optional stuff in this game, including spinning and petting Lumas. Last but not least, I think this is the coolest one, and it's super easy to miss. At the start of World 1, take a look at this rock. Note its peculiar shape. Going into World 1-1, you can actually see that rock in the background. For those of you who have beaten the campaign of this game, you'll know that once you defeat Meowser, this rock turns into a spaceship that'll shoot you into the 4 special worlds. Even though it was completely unnecessary and not something Nintendo needed to add in at all, once the spaceship shows up in the overworld, they permanently changed the background of level 1-1 so you can see the spaceship there as well. There you have it, 100 facts about the Super Mario 3D All-Stars pack, plus some 3D World thrown in there as well. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to help support the channel, you can just like the video. I mean, this took a while to make, so that just helps out tremendously. And if you want, check out the channel membership program by pressing the join button down below. With that out of the way, I'm Thomas from the Switch Stop, signing off. Peace.